Does money make people happy? There is something peculiar happening when we observe the human mind encountering money. The neurons fire differently when paper currency touches the fingertips. The pupils dilate slightly. The breathing changes its rhythm. Watch a child counting coins for the first time. There is pure fascination, the same wonder they show when discovering a colorful stone or a butterfly. But observe an adult counting the same coins. Something else is present. Attention, a calculation that goes beyond the simple arithmetic of addition. The brain, this 3-pound universe of electrical storms, has somehow learned to associate these pieces of metal and paper with survival itself, not just survival, but something more elusive, something we call happiness. But what is this thing we pursue so relentlessly? When the bank account swells, there is indeed a moment, brief, almost photographic, where something resembling satisfaction appears. The cortisol levels drop. The shoulders relax. There is a sense of arrival. Now I can breathe, the mind whispers to itself. Yet this moment passes with the reliability of morning dew evaporating under sunlight. Watch what happens next. The mind, having tasted this brief relief, immediately begins its next calculation. If this amount brought this feeling, then surely twice this amount will bring twice the feeling. The mathematics of desire reveals itself to be fundamentally flawed, yet the mind persists in its equation. There is a man who spent 30 years accumulating wealth, believing each milestone would deliver lasting contentment. At 60, sitting in his corner office overlooking the city he had conquered financially, he discovered something unexpected. The same restlessness that had driven him at 30 was still there, unchanged, like a persistent hum in the background of consciousness. The money had changed. The bank statements showed impressive numbers, but the mind remained essentially the same instrument, playing the same tune of wanting, seeking, comparing. This is perhaps the most fascinating observation. Money does not change the fundamental structure of human consciousness. It is like pouring water into a vessel with a hole. No matter how much we pour, the vessel remains empty. But we are not suggesting money is evil or unnecessary. That would be another form of ideological thinking. Money, like water or electricity, is simply what it is, a tool, a medium of exchange. The interesting question is not about money itself, but about what happens in the space between the human mind and money. In that space, extraordinary transformations occur. A number on a screen becomes security. A piece of plastic becomes freedom. A paycheck becomes identity. Watch how quickly I earn becomes I am. There are indigenous communities where the concept of individual accumulation is foreign. Wealth flows like water through the community, naturally circulating. When observed from the outside, there appears to be less anxiety about money, though certainly not an absence of material challenges. The mind has not yet been conditioned to equate personal worth with personal wealth. This conditioning, this learned association between money and happiness, operates below the threshold of conscious awareness. It is as automatic as blinking, as unconscious as breathing. The neural pathways have been carved deep through repetition, through cultural messaging, through generations of inherited belief. Can these pathways be observed without judgment? Can we watch the mind as it performs its calculations of worth and value, the way a scientist might observe a chemical reaction? When we observe without trying to change, something interesting happens. The very act of observation creates a space between the observer and the observed. In that space, the automatic quality of our responses begins to reveal itself. A salary increase arrives, and we can watch the mind's immediate leap toward happiness, followed by its swift calculation of what the next increase should be. We can see how the mind divides the world into those who have more and those who have less, and how it positions itself in this endless hierarchy. The person with 10,000 believes those with 100,000 have found the secret. The person with 100,000 looks enviously at those with millions, and those with millions. They often discover the most surprising truth of all, that the game never ends, that the finish line keeps moving with the precision of a mirage. What if happiness and money exist in entirely different dimensions of human experience? What if seeking happiness through money is like trying to quench thirst with a photograph of water? This is not to dismiss the very real security that money can provide. Shelter, food, medical care, education. These are not abstractions. The absence of money can create genuine suffering. But the presence of money beyond these necessities, what does it actually provide? Perhaps the question is not whether money makes people happy, but whether happiness is something that can be made at all. Whether it is something that can be accumulated, saved, invested, or earned. In the quiet moments between thoughts, when the calculating mind rests, there is sometimes a glimpse of something that needs nothing, wants nothing, lacks nothing. It is there before the first paycheck and remains after the last. It neither increases with wealth, nor decreases with poverty. What is this that exists independent of our balance sheet? This contentment that requires no currency?